Sorry there. It's Nate from The Resilient coming at you live with something a little bit different here. Calling it Crypto and Coffee. Or, no, sorry, that's somebody else. Crypto and Cardio. Gonna do a little bit of cardio this morning while watching a couple videos about different things in the cryptoverse. So I think today I'm going to take a little bit of a look further into a project called Orcid Protocol, and I just wanted to get a better understanding of what's going on, and to do that I'm going to call upon the Coin Bureau. This dude, Guy, I'm pretty sure his name is, he's pretty good. He's one of my favorite crypto YouTubers. Puts out some pretty solid information, always gives you the disclaimers. You know, he's not a financial advisor, neither am I. We're just gonna explore a little bit of this particular crypto, Orcid. OXT. So, let's start off by figuring out what it's all about. This is a pretty decent looking deep dive. So, yeah, and while this is going on, I'm just going to go in the background and do a little bit of cardio. I'm going to do some air squats or box squats, and you guys can, if you feel like it, do your own version of cardio. I'm going to set up a timer. It's going to be 10 minutes, every minute on the minute. And without further ado, let's start it up.
If online privacy is important to you, then the chances are that you're probably watching this video through a VPN. Virtual private networks are viewed as an essential tool to encrypt your traffic and avoid being snooped on. However, should we really be so trusting of large and centralized VPN providers? Is there perhaps an alternative, decentralized option? Well, yes there is. It's called the Orcid Protocol, and in this video, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about it. Now, just two quick things before we get underway. My name is Guy, and I am many things. However, the one thing that I am not is a financial advisor. This is presented purely as an educational resource. And also, if you're new to this channel, then you should probably go ahead and subscribe. Oh, and turn on those notifications to make sure you're getting the latest and greatest from the Bureau. All clear? Groovy. Onwards with Orcid. Orcid is a pretty unique project that has developed a decentralized, blockchain-based virtual private network, or as they call it in the white paper, a decentralized market for anonymous communications. There's also a good chance that you may not have heard of the Orcid Protocol or its OXT token until very recently. However, a recent announcement by Coinbase Pro that they will be listing OXT has spurred a great deal of interest. This is because it's quite unusual for an exchange like Coinbase to list a token that's just out of the gates. They're generally pretty cautious when it comes to the newer projects. However, if you follow the Orcid backstory, you'll discover that it's anything but a simple cryptocurrency project. It's raised quite a bit of money from VCs and accredited investors over the past 2 years. There's also a pretty star-studded team behind the project. More on this later. To start off with though, I want to quickly touch on VPNs and why we should consider a decentralized alternative. For those of you who don't know what a VPN is, here's a quick rundown. A virtual private network is an encrypted connection to another network over the internet. This is usually a connection to another server. You're then able to browse the internet using the connection of that server. So if that server is in another country, it looks like you're browsing from another location. Moreover, because a VPN connection is encrypted, no one can see what you're browsing, not your ISP, the government, or any other online snoop. Now, This is just a simple explanation, and I've linked to some resources below if you want to dig into it a bit more.
Focusing on...
There are countless VPN providers that have developed computer programs, mobile apps, and other clients.
Blood flowing a little bit.
You then use these clients to connect to the broader network of the VPN provider and browse from a location that you see fit. You pay the VPN provider a monthly subscription. They promise to keep you safe with a no logs policy and the best in-class security. I see one central problem with this model, with central being the operative word. Basically, you have to place a lot of faith in the VPN provider and hope that they are honest and that they can guard your privacy competently. Of course, this is a dubious proposal for those ardent privacy advocates. There have also been quite a few examples of where VPN providers have broken that faith. For example, some may remember the Hide My Ass saga from back in the day. Long story short, this aptly named VPN provider handed over logs and user information to the US authorities, a move which angered many users. Then more recently, you had a security breach that was reported at NordVPN, one of the largest VPN providers in the world. So it's quite clear that centralized VPN services may not be as safe and secure as they are initially thought to be. It's also important to remind ourselves that many people who use VPNs do so from inside repressive regimes. If a hacker can spy on your connection, what's to say that regime's cyber spies can't? Against this backdrop, we're now presented with Orcid, a unique and ingenious decentralized VPN network. The Orcid network is built from open source software on the Ethereum blockchain. It's a decentralized VPN that allows users on the network to buy a bandwidth from a global pool of providers. That's the simple explanation. But let's take a look at each of the core components of the network, shall we? Firstly, you have the Orcid app. This is the VPN client that you'll use on your device, phone, PC, etc. This is the program that will allow you to connect to the Orcid network and customize your connection settings. It's not too dissimilar in function to that of a normal VPN client, although this app includes a cryptocurrency private key. This is the key that's used in order to sign transactions when buying bandwidth with OXT. Another really important part of the network is the Orcid Protocol. This is the custom protocol that the Orcid software is designed to use when connecting to the network. It's similar to the OpenVPN protocol, except that it allows users to request access to remote network resources and pay for these resources using Orcid Nano Payments system. This Nano Payment system is a really interesting component of the Orcid network. It was specifically designed to handle the high transaction throughput demands of the Orcid network. It's essentially an Orcid off-chain scaling solution to address the throughput restrictions on the Ethereum main chain. In simple terms, Nano Payments allow VPN clients to pay node operators in OXT tickets for the bandwidth used, packet by packet. It's a probabilistic payment system where instead of sending, say, $1 directly, you send a 1% chance of a node winning 100. This is a very simplistic explanation, but I have linked to the additional resources on Nano Payments below. The main thing that you need to take away from the probabilistic Nano Payments is that it's not only highly scalable, but it also reduces service provider fees. These service providers are the Orcid nodes that rent out their bandwidth. Orcid nodes maintain registration information in a stake registry and provider directory on Ethereum. These providers also have to stake OXT in order to run these nodes. And speaking of staking, the Orcid protocol uses a pretty unique consensus mechanism. It uses a derivative of proof of stake called stake weighting. Bandwidth providers stake OXT in time-locked deposits to prove identity and receive traffic in proportion to relative stake deposit size. Stake weighting is intended to allow the economic security of the Orcid network to scale linearly with the size of the total deposited stake. Okay, that was a lot to take in. If any of this is unclear to you, then there are plenty of helpful links which you can find below. Now, I've mentioned this OXT cryptocurrency quite a bit, so this is a great segue into that. OXT is an ERC20 token that was released earlier this month. As the utility token on the Orcid network, it serves two primary purposes. Firstly, users will pay for the amount of bandwidth that they consume on the Orcid protocol with OXT. This is a pay-as-you-go system, and they will only pay for actual usage. Secondly, OXT is used by the bandwidth providers, read nodes, to stake on the network. This provides an important economic incentive for the providers. The more OXT that they stake, the more chance they have of being rewarded in the network. It also means that these nodes have skin in the game and are dissuaded from any dishonest behavior. Now, as mentioned in the beginning, Orcid Labs did raise considerable private investor funding through a SAFT sale. For those who don't know, SAFT is the acronym for a Simple Agreement for Future Tokens, basically a legal security agreement offered to accredited investors. According to regulatory filings, Orcid Labs has raised over $40 million from a number of well-known VCs, including Sequoia Capital, Andreessen Horowitz, Blockchain Capital, and a few others. These eventually led to the issue of the OXT tokens, which are the type that can now be bought on the open market. And while we're on this point, it's worth mentioning that there were quite a few concerns about this from a retail investor perspective. Some questioned whether OXT was being offloaded on the open market by these early investors. While these concerns may just be stipulations, it's wise not to dive right in until volatility subsides and price discovery takes its course. Anyways, the total supply of OXT is 1 billion and there is no inflation. In fact, there is slight deflationary pressure on the token. This is because contractual penalty mechanisms will burn OXT and take them out of circulation. In terms of the security of the OXT smart contract, it has been externally audited by 2 third parties. These include Consensus and Satora, so that's a strong vote of confidence. Now, when it comes to trading, OXT is currently only listed on Coinbase Pro. As mentioned, this was the launch exchange and trading has only been live for a few days. Despite this, there appears to be quite a bit of volume taking place. Here are Coinbase Pro's OXT USD order books. Decent liquidity and relatively deep. This implies easy execution with limited slippage. Of course, it would be great to see the token listed on other exchanges. Not only will this spread the liquidity, but will also aid in that price discovery I mentioned earlier. In terms of storage, this is an ERC20 token, so any wallet that supports Ethereum can be used. Let's switch gears now and take a quick look at the team behind Orcid, shall we? The Orcid protocol is being built by Orcid Labs, which is based in San Francisco. The CEO and co-founder of the Orcid protocol is Stephen Waterhouse, aka Seven. He's been a leader in the blockchain and tech industries for several years. For example, he was a partner at Pantera Capital from 2013 to 2016, as well as having served on the board of Bitstamp until 2016. He also has a PhD in engineering from Cambridge University. Joining him in the co-founder seat is Jay Freeman. Jay is perhaps best known for having developed the Cydia installer. For those who have ever jailbroken an iPhone, you will no doubt have heard of the Cydia software. The final co-founder to make up this trio is Gustav Simonsen. He is a developer who was previously one of the core Ethereum devs on their security team.
So far, this Orcid looks like it's one of the top players in the decentralized VPN service. And I just wanted to highlight it because I seen on their site they're having a private. If you go to their site, I'll go over to that Orcid Protocol. What we see, they're having this Orcid Presents private, I don't know how you say it, private, but I see Edward Snowden, who is a big name in the security space for sure. I don't know who these other people are yet, haven't really looked into them, but that alone could potentially give it some attention from the masses. And this thing's listed on Coinbase. So this isn't financial advice. Neither is what Guy over here from Coin Bureau is saying, but definitely an interesting project. You guys should look into further yourselves. And yeah, I mean that's kind of all I have time for today. Got through most of this video. Go check it out on Guy's site. Give him the Coin Bureau. Give him a thumbs up. And yeah, this is gonna be Nate from The Resilient. I'm gonna be signing off. Go ahead and check our website out, theresilientband.com. We have 3 original songs out there on Spotify and YouTube and all that good stuff, iTunes. So yeah, I'll hopefully catch you guys tomorrow, and